DC fans, we've got some bad news because a massive new report came out detailing everything that went wrong behind the scenes of the new Supergirl movie. And as you can see, it claims that James Gunn took over Supergirl during the post production of the film. And there's a whole lot more details about stuff that went on behind the scenes, and it is not pretty. Unfortunately, all of this news is coming from a pretty big and reliable news source, which is the Hollywood Reporter. That doesn't mean that this couldn't be fabricated a little bit, but I think most of this is allegedly true. First thing this article talks about is that there were apparently two different cuts of this movie. The first one was the original cut by the director of the movie, Craig Gillespie, his vision for what he wanted the film to be. It was apparently 11 minutes longer than the one that ended up getting released in theaters and showed more of the villain Krem. Now, this does not guarantee that this cut would have been like amazing or way better than the mediocre movie we ended up getting, but I always think you should just give the directors their vision. You hire them to make a movie, why not let them release the movie they want to make? The thing is that apparently DC executives, whether that means James Gunn or just other suits that we don't even know who they are, were not happy with this, and the mediocre reviews it was getting at test screenings, so they kind of came in with their own people and had their own cut and edit done of the movie, and that's the one that ended up releasing. The article also talks a lot about the fact that James Gunn and Craig Gillespie apparently had lots of friction between them on the music chosen for the movie, and we know obviously the very final battle has that cover of The Middle by Jimmy Eat World that everybody thinks is terrible. I think it's a terrible needle drop, even though I think the movie overall is just fine. That song at the end completely took me out of it, and we know the other day Craig Gillespie came out and he was like, oh yeah, James Gunn's the one that picked that. So he was literally like throwing him under the bus, and this report kind of doubles down like, oh yeah, he wasn't trying to compliment James Gunn there. He was trying to be like, yeah, blame this guy. The article also states that apparently James Gunn originally chose a cover of Girls Just Want to Have Fun for the final battle, so I don't know what happened there, why that didn't stay in the final battle moment. I think that would have been a little bit better of a needle drop. It just would have been a better fight song to have in that moment. This article kind of just keeps going on, and I think it proves that tensions are very high at DC Studios. Even though Superman was a pretty big success at the box office and on digital streaming, everything last year, Supergirl coming in and losing like over 100, possibly $200 million clearly is putting stress on them. There's lots of articles coming out and things happening. This same article says that James Gunn contract reportedly expires at the end of 2026 this year or 2027, so they think maybe that's why he's stressing now. This article also says that like, yeah, anxieties are high at DC Studios because yeah, Warner Brothers is being bought by Paramount, and yes, everybody at Paramount has come out and said we're going to keep all these things intact and we're going to keep James Gunn and Peter Safran, but we don't know if that's really their plan or not. Executives lie all the time, and there's different things in this article where apparently some unnamed studio executive said that Gen Z does not care about superhero movies. The genre belongs to millennials, and it just seems like things are very messy over at DC Studios. I didn't even cover the part where it talks about apparently like the lead editor for Guardians of the Galaxy, those movies came in and did a bulk of the edit for Supergirl, even though he wasn't originally like the person in charge, and he brought in his own person to rewrite some of the script. And of course, all of this is alleged, but if even like 20% of this is true, it is very alarming that this new DC Studios is 2 films in and there's already this much insane drama happening behind the scenes. And honestly, I think the theory a lot of people have about this new DC universe being a lot of leftovers from the DCEU that were already deeper in production and they just couldn't completely scrap are true. Like this Supergirl movie was probably originally supposed to be for Sasha's version of the character that we saw in the Flash movie. Like it literally had the same writer attached to it. Anna Nogueira was working on the script for this movie and this new Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. Or even if that wasn't the case, we already know things like Creature Commandos and Peacemaker and stuff has been dragged over. So it just seems like things are kind of a mess behind the scenes at DC Studios. They have Superman going for it and nothing else really. So hopefully they can nail Clayface, which again isn't really a character you're building a new universe off of. Really, hopefully we just get James Gunn to lock in and get that Wonder Woman and Teen Titans and a new Batman movie in this DC universe set. Now, even though I have a lot of problems with Supergirl, I don't think it's a complete disaster. So if you want to hear my full spoiler-free review of the movie, click the video above my head right now, and thank you for watching.